Hey guys, what's up? Danny here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a weather update as of October 9, 2024. So right now, we currently have this hurricane that is impacting, um, Florida, and it's actually pretty crazy. So basically, we're just going to give you a quick hurricane rundown, is that there is going to be a lot more hurricanes coming in, and it's crazy that there is a hurricane warning literally throughout the whole entire central part of Florida here, and obviously tropical storm warnings for almost the entire state of Florida and some sort of South Carolina and Georgia that are going to be experiencing less impacts from this current Hurricane Milton. The sea temperatures are actually getting a lot chillier now. So this is probably going to be the last like very very strong hurricane. So as you can tell, it's like 28 to 30. And if you guys were watching my video the other day, um, the sea surface temperatures um, like a week ago, you could see the orange be all the way, all through the Gulf of Mexico. And now the Gulf of Mexico is like 84 to 86 degrees. Well, no, not 84, 82 to 86 degrees. And the northern portion is temperatures that are, going below 80 now. So definitely, chillier weather ensues. And, yeah, so still a lot of heat, above average sea surface temperatures. And, with obviously you can see there's a cool down going on with the sea surface temperatures. And then if you take a look at the wind shear, this hurricane is just literally crashing into the wind shear. So that's why it's going to be weakening so rapidly, right? Because of this wind shear. If there was no wind shear, it would have been strengthening off the coast of Florida here, but there's a lot of wind shear, so it's going to continue to weaken. Currently a category 3, and as we speak right now, it's currently making landfall right now just south of Tampa. So I'm pretty sure Tampa is actually going to, you know, not deal with the worst of the storm surge, which is a really good thing because I feel bad. That's a lot of people that would have been dead if the storm surge just came in like that. So as this hurricane comes through, um, then it's just going to go out to sea and completely weaken, turn into nothing because the wind shear is going to rip it apart. But as we continue to go through, the eastern part of the United States is actually going to be below average heading into this central part of October, and there's going to be some lake effect snow. There is going to be some. The Great Lakes are relatively warm, and so there's going to be some lake effect snow, some wet snowflakes, throughout New York State and some in Pennsylvania, especially the higher elevations here. And as you could tell, right, for Wednesday, October 16th, there's actually a good amount of snow. So that, that's going to be, first snow. Definitely the Northeast is going to see that, right? With this big burst of cold air, right? There's going to be somewhat of a winter storm there in the south um, eastern Canada, but then that's going to dissipate. Obviously, that's going to bring down a bunch of cold air with it. But then we need to watch out for another tropical system, right? So this is around like October 20th, and it's also probably going to impact Florida, right? And this is the long range, but here, the GFS shows a tropical system. This would not be extra tropical. This would be either a tropical storm or a category 1 hurricane, right? As it could, impact Florida there. And so we need to watch out for the tropics. There's a lot of these fronts coming through the Northeast, right, that aren't aligning with any of these hurricanes. So most likely, any storms that do form, they're not really going to travel up the East Coast. But we'll see what happens because there's always a possibility that storms could track up the East Coast. And then we take a look at the Canadian model here, right? So basically, yeah, it shows that storm going through, and then interestingly enough, it sometimes it's very good with cyclone formation, but it shows some type of cyclone forming around October 17th. Now, definitely, if this cyclone right here formed in like the Gulf of Mexico, then that would have been a hurricane. But here it just looks like a kind of like a rainstorm. Um, if we do see some type of tropical development, and then it goes up the coast, now that would be very interesting. Now, this is like 8 days out, but yeah, I mean, we still need to track the tropics, and I'm here to give you guys all the updates. And the Rockies are gonna be seeing some snowfall there, and the European model, actually, surprisingly, it shows the same thing, right? So, you know, give me 1 second. So it shows a lot of moisture going up the East Coast. So if there is going to be a tropical storm that forms, there could be some type of surgence, right? Where there's going to be a track where a potential hurricane or tropical storm could track up north up the East Coast, right? Because of the way that, there's agreement between the European and the Canadian models here, which is crazy. So if we just take a look at the eastern US here, or actually no. Let's span out and just take a look at the North Atlantic, right? Um, Hold on. Let me see. Where's the best? Okay, let's take a look at the Western Atlantic here. Um, so basically within this time frame, it shows like a lot of tropical moisture going up here, and so could we potentially see a hurricane forming? I mean, the waters are still fairly warm, you know what I mean? A lot of tropical, if a tropical cyclone is going to develop, then it's going to develop, you know up to North Carolina, and then you know other areas not really going to see anything. But there's a lot of tropical cyclone heat potential within the area that there's going to be some type of system forming here. So the Northeast should watch out for some potential impacts here, right? So you know now the interesting thing is that I want to take a look at something real quick here. So we will look at cod meteorology. And with cod meteorology, we'll take a look at weather data. If we take a look at analysis data, uh, give me 1 second. Numerical models, right? And then we need to take a look at the GEFS, and then take a look at the um. Give me 1 second. Ensemble precip type. Okay, that's pretty good. All right. So as you all could tell, there's a hurricane coming through. But then like there, and that kind of dissipates, but then here we continue going through the model, and yes, some of the GFS models, they do show uh okay, this is incomplete set data, so we need to go to the Tolsey model run. So as you can tell, I predicted that hurricane forming and hitting Florida. I knew that it was gonna happen, right? As we continue here, there looks like there could be a big surgence of moisture, um, and some type of possibly big storm. Now, whether it's tropical, whether it's not tropical, that we really need to see. But it looks like there could be a big collision between very warm and very cold air. Um, Around October 20th. And as you could tell, some of the models are showing a shit ton of moisture in the south, in the southeast. And, look at that. There's like a wave right there, like a tropical depression looking like right there. Right here, you could see something off the coast. Just a shit ton of moisture, right? So, um, the main thing is that could this and then here, look at this model. It's showing a low pressure system, right off. Um, well, no, this is basically hitting inland, northeast. Just a shit ton of moisture right now. Could this have some type of tropical development potential? Yeah, it could. And it could either hit the eastern part of the United States or it could hit Florida. So as you could tell, um, there's a lot of moisture, and the models, they do some different things, some wonky things in the long range with it. But again, this model here, this is showing a hurricane impacting the southern part of Florida, and then here it's showing a low pressure system off the coast of the US. Here there's one in the Gulf of Mexico, so that would be like a tropical storm. The other models are kind of showing a lot of precipitation. Here we have a tropical cyclone off the coast of the East Coast, and if I continue with this model, right, it does show that the system if you just take a look at this model, you see like it does show a circle here going up the coast, right? And if a system does form, would it really actually have the potential to go up the coast? Yes, it would. So again, I'm placing the eastern part and the Gulf of Mexico on storm watch for the next uh for around October 20th, right? And it's way too early to tell about what's going to happen right now. So, obviously you cannot predict anything. It's way too early to tell. But, you know, the GFS main model, like I said, does show a system here with, a cold air coming, a shit ton of cold air coming down, and then a low pressure system off the coast here. Now here's the thing is that all of the models are showing something like this. So there is going to be something happening here. Now, the chances that it could be a big storm are probably low, but there's a collision, a massive collision between a shit ton of cold air and extreme tropical moisture because there's a big cool down going on in October, and October is below average, is might be below average for the entire eastern seaboard, right? And so, there's a low pressure system here, and then there's a hurricane here. But what if that hurricane collides with that cold air? So there's going to be a trough here. There is going to be a trough here, right? Now, there could even be potential for a winter storm in the Northeast because this is the end of October. There has been snowfall in NYC at the end of October. That has happened before, right? Can't keep that out of the possibility. We need a shit ton of cold air coming down for that to truly happen, right? But if we do see a tropical cyclone, colliding with a bunch of cold air, that is the same thing that happened with Hurricane Sandy, right? So October 20th, please, everybody, watch out. There could be a massive hurricane coming through. And this is the main thing I want everybody to understand. That please be careful. Please be careful around October 20th, right? You see a bunch of cold air coming down with this big trough, right? So if we take a look at the upper dynamics, give me 1 second. Yeah, right here. Look at this. This is literally what you see in winter. This is a trough. This is if that trough spins around, that could be even like winter storm potential there, right? Because there is a lot of cold air right now. So you can see these two systems. Look at that trough. Look at the system, and you can literally see it. And then they don't collide exactly, right? There has to be some type of collision. When there is collision with a lot of cold air and everything like that, there could be massive potential for a winter storm. And if we take a look at the European model, right, it does show something around that time frame, right? It shows some type of trough or some type of storm here, right, with a ridge in that area. But it has that feature where it's like one area of low pressure and then there's another one, right? And then they potentially collide. So please be on the lookout for that, right? There could be some really big changes that happen in the forecast within the next couple of days. Please be on the lookout. Massive hurricane potential, especially with all this new cold air coming in, right? Who knows? We'll see. This winter could be very intense. It's a La Nina, and we just need a negative NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation. We need a negative NAO. We need that to be negative, right? And so we'll see what happens, okay? Big storm potential here, guys. Please be on the lookout, okay? Hope you guys have a great day, and peace out.